Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel Life Changing Courses. And this is Life Changing Stories. And today I'm joined with a special guest, Diana Salt. Hello, Diana, and welcome.
Hi, Michael.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Diana is an intuitive medium and a life guidance coach. She consults people and helps them to realize their purpose and to get enthusiastic about life again. Wow, that sounds
Very
amazing.
important. Yeah. I
Tell us
think in the
more about.
world we're living in, it can be difficult to be enthusiastic about life, but we all have a purpose. And so once you figure that out, life can become a kind of a bowl of cherries.
Well, how do people kind of like get to that place of having a purpose or wanting to know what their purpose is?
So one of the most important sort of red flags, I would say, is if there's something in your life that you've been struggling to get through for years. And
Yeah.
it could be something as simple as trying to improve your health or an entrepreneurial way. You're trying to get your business started.
Hmm.
Sometimes the most frustrating parts of your life are actually the messages from beyond that are telling you instead of procrastinating on something, that's the key to unlocking what you need to know on your life path. I'll give an example. If you want more confidence, a simple example, but you've never ever been on a interview or a Zoom call or even a TikTok,
Yeah.
don't even be frightened of what people will think of you because that's the dark side or what I would call the side of our ego that wants to sabotage us.
Yeah.
And so my biggest advice would be if you're scared of something, find out why you're scared of it and just do it because it really is the key to unlocking the door of what you need to figure out about yourself.
Yeah, that's so important to just start. I just find with my clients, there's two major saboteurs, the procrastination and
Yes.
perfectionism.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm a big one for that. I want everything to be perfect, but life is not perfect. And if it was, we would be very bored. I can promise you
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So once we overcome those, and we just start, and then we just continue.
That's it. Just start. I mean, I often think it's so funny. When I was younger, I always thought that adults had everything together and they always knew what they were doing and everything. Nobody gives you a life manual on how to do this, how to be a parent, how to be a single mom, how to run your own business. Everybody's going in blind. And I have a wonderful sentiment that my mom always used to say, which was, fake it till you make it. If you want to be that television celebrity or you want to be a business owner, go and find out what they're doing. How do they run their lives? And then start putting into place the various aspects like self-awareness and find out how they did it and then just do it. We feel like we'll never be that. We have an image in our heads of what we see ourselves being. And
Yeah.
sometimes that image is a very perfectionist image. And you've just got to realize that this is who you are, a unique person with a unique voice. And there's nobody else in the whole world that is you. So you
Complete.
have really got something amazing to give the world.
And I think that's why we started the channel so that people can learn and they can grow and develop and not be scared of growth.
Exactly, exactly. So, I think the most important part for me was listening to my gut. Um, the the intuition that we each have and that is given to us is really, really important to um, finding out who and what we are, where we come from. Um, and a lot of people don't listen to their gut, and that's so important.
Yes, yes, yes. How do you listen to your gut? I mean, that's just like um, something that people just ignore, but it's so important. And maybe they just don't know how.
Okay. So the most important part that I would say is you have to you have to make sure that you have a routine every single day where you meet with your angels, where you meet with your higher self. And so every morning at about 6, I wake up, get the sleep out of my eyes, get a nice warm blanket around me, and I have a book that I open up and I write down what's on my mind, anything that comes into my mind,
Okay.
um, my worries, my fears, what I need to do for the day. And then I put on some really good angelic, sort of calming instrumental music,
Yeah.
and I go peaceful. And when you go peaceful, that noise, that constant noise in your head, you've got to
Yeah.
switch it down. You've got to switch that
Yes.
volume right down.
Yes.
And then you will start asking the universe questions. Like a really great one is, what is my purpose? Why am I here?
Mm.
And if you still your mind, you will actually start listening to the messages that come through in your head, even if you start envisioning pictures. So what happens with me is I end up the way I am given messages by the angels is they send me pictures in my head. So if I'm reading for a client, it would be a case of I'm seeing a beach ball and it's on a shelf. And
Yes.
if I don't say what I'm seeing, um, people will think I'm weird. People often think I'm weird and I'm strange and I'm unusual. But if I don't tell them what I'm seeing, the message doesn't get through. I can't let my own inner judge
Yes.
stop those messages from going through. And what you'll find out is I said that to one of my clients, and she said, "Oh my goodness, I have a beach ball that my sister gave me who passed
Oh.
on a beach, and I've kept it on my shelf for 20 odd years." And it would be a message from her sister telling her, I'm here. I wouldn't know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So that's how I communicate the pictures that come through in my head. And so if you are sitting in your quiet space and you are listening to your friend, to your mind, um, quieten the chatter
Yeah.
and then ask the questions. And you'll find that when you write out the answers from your mind,
Yeah.
you will get the answers from the universe and from your guardian angels.
And maybe that answer might be go see die for a reading.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would love you to come for a reading. I mean, I really love to help people to see that life is not this big bad place. We've been given the most beautiful opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah.
And often people are held back by their grief of losing a partner or losing their son or daughter or their grandparents, and they just cannot get past that grief.
Mm.
And when I connect with my angelic guide, Archangel Michael, he helps bring them through. And it would be like in my mind's eye, I would see a big room filled with light, and I would see my bright light presence of my Archangel Michael coming through. And then I see sort of look at this little kid. Unbelievable. And then I would see the people that I've called to come through. And everything is very difficult to explain because no one can see what I see.
Yes.
But once I start bringing through
The deep.
the little cute things that happened in the
Yeah.
person's life, they'll
Yeah.
know exactly who that is and why they're there. And often they come through with advice and say, you're banging your head against a brick wall on this idea. Try it from this angle. And yeah, it's just so wonderful to be able to heal people in that way and help them to realize that their loved ones, they don't just go into the ground and that's the end of them. There's a massive dimension that we all go to when we pass over. I firmly believe that.
Yes.
And with God's love and light, we are able to reach that side. We all have the gift, but you've really got to work very hard on maintaining that peace and listening out for the signs. And
Yeah.
so for the past 6 years, I've been on a journey of self-discovery. I've had this gift since I was about 4 years old. My mom used to say I spoke to imaginary
Right.
kids and imaginary people. And
So,
then obviously as you grow up, you get shut down. So
yeah,
yeah.
so more on that. What's your story? What was your life-changing moment that led you to that?
Okay, so when I was young, I was a very introverted child. I'm a lot more outgoing now. I've had to learn how to be, but I used to sit for hours playing on my own and talking to these imaginary friends. And my parents often actually, my mom started to think that there might be a bit of brain damage or something, And they took me to specialists and everything, and they said, no, she's fine. She just, she's introverted. And so I spent most of my primary school time up until about, I call it standard two, which I think is grade five now. I'm not sure of the terminology, but just sitting in the library reading. I love books. I love books because books could take my mind into that imaginary space and into that picture space. And then the angels were able to guide me and show me things through that imagination and that imaginary aspect. And then as I grew up, adults tend to shut you down. Don't talk nonsense. Children are to be seen and not heard, and all of that.
Correct.
And I was horribly bullied at school for it. Being said I was adopted at 3 months old into my family. Um, and at 3 months old, my mom and dad took the most beautiful care and love for me and my childhood, my adoptive parents. So I always felt different because during that time of the 80s growing up, um, adoption wasn't seen as something to be talked about. It was very hush hush, and very much a something you don't talk about. And so my mom and dad were really honest with me and told me everything from the beginning. And so I would go to primary school and tell all my friends all these amazing things that I'm adopted and my tummy mummy, she couldn't look after me. And so and they would go home and tell their parents. And of course, their parents would go, oh, you can't talk about that.
Yeah.
And then I was seen as strange, and then I was seen as weird. So I was quite badly bullied in primary school. Um, and then through books, learned how to socialize myself. Through the relationships of the characters in books, I was able to understand how you make friends and how you interact with people. And from there onwards, learned how to come out of my shell and be open. I still kept my angelic gift under wraps, though, for many, many years, because I was so terrified that people would put me in the loony bin for it. And only in the past, I would say 8 or 9 years, has it really started to come through. And then I met a pivotal thing happened. Two pivotal things happened. My brother passed away from cancer at the age of 34
Oh,
when
wow.
I was about 26, 27 years old. And he was living in America at the time, and my parents had to fly over, and I had to stay behind and look after my dad's business for him. I had to grow up very quickly.
Yeah.
And first of all, seeing how my brother was treated by the medical industry over there, as well as what happened to him as a result of a mainstream medicine, put me on a path of absolute massive research into other alternatives to curing and not curing, but helping people with cancer,
Yeah.
helping people with any other diseases that they might have. Because God gave us nature,
Mm.
and nature's there to heal. There's no side effects. There's no once you take in a beautiful big green smoothie, you're not going to suffer from a side effect of something else. It's absolute nutrition. So that was part of my journey of going towards my health store. And the other pivotal moment was I met during just before COVID. I met the most amazing mentor called Amanda Forrow. And a lot of people will remember her from being on Radio 702 back in the
Yeah.
day. And when I was a young girl, I actually used to listen to her show. And she used to speak about all the things that paranormal, supernatural,
Yeah.
otherworldly. And I used to be fascinated by what she had to say. And in a series of weird circumstances via Telegram chats and that, I stumbled onto a site with her and we got on. And she decided she's been doing angel work for the past 20, 25 years. And she sort of mentored me and showed me how to do all of this, how to run a business, how to consult with your angels, what you need to do every day. And so ever since then, I have been growing in my gift, and I have the most wonderful mentor that's helped me with that. So, God sends you the people that you need. He
Beautiful.
really does. You just have to
Yeah.
be open to it.
Lovely, lovely story. So now that you've grown, do you stop growing?
Oh, never. Oh gosh, I learn every day, every day. I've got things in my own life that I need to focus on regularly. One of the things that I've noticed in the recent times was because I shut myself down when I was younger, I found solace in food. And of course, everybody knows about stress eating. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that nice comfort food always makes you feel better.
Hmm.
And I gained weight. And over the years, I hit myself behind the weight. And now I have realized in the last 3 months that the key to unlocking my confidence and the key to unlocking the self-belief and love for myself
Yes.
is in going through that.
Wow.
Sometimes you got to go through the mountain instead of over it. And so I have started eating healthily, done a lot of research on that. I found that keto works very well for me. I started Run Walk for Life. So I go to that 3 times a week. And for me, it is not about my image anymore. It's
Yeah.
about healing myself,
Hmm.
because hiding all that pain under weight is not going to make me know who I am. I have to face my fear. And by facing my fear of exercise, because I really don't like to get up and go, especially in winter, to go
Yeah.
out and do that. But while I'm walking and I'm stomping those steps, I know that I am walking towards and through that mountain. And so that's a constant thing. That's something I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life. And I know that there are goals that I have. I want to do a 5K. I want to be able to jog one day and all of that sort of thing. So life is a constant. If you're not working hard on yourself every day, then you've given up. Don't sit on
Hmm.
the couch and get your mind sort of completely absorbed by what's on the TV. Do the work.
Yeah.
Have the routine. Have an hour for TV and the rest, or read a book or read something you're interested in. But if you give up, life will carry on regardless of you. And
Yeah.
we're here to shine our light. It's really important to just do that.
Yeah. I just find, yes, whenever people are in that giving up stage and just watching too much TV or just doing nothing, it's just start somewhere small. Just start
Absolutely.
around the block. Doesn't have to be far.
Yeah, like just get out. I mean, the what is I think it was Bruce Ford. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Bruce Ford that said, the hardest part about exercising is putting your sneakers or your tackies on.
Yes.
Once you've got that sorted, you're good to go. But it's
Yeah.
that procrastination that needs to stop. Once you do that, some days I don't want to. Some days it's like yesterday, it was freezing, freezing cold. And I was like, this is a promise I've made to myself. I need to be accountable to myself in order to do this.
Oh, that's amazing. Very inspiring story. Very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yes. How do you kind of like coach people? Do you just get the messages or how does that
Okay, so
process work?
what would happen is I have a website. It's dianassault.com. I'll send you the link, Michael.
It will be in
And
the description
you
below.
can go onto that website and read up a little bit about me. I do a lot of blogs on there. I'm helping people with the various ways of improving and self-actualizing and all of that. And I do readings. So my readings are well priced. They're not overly priced, so people can afford them. I do a shorter reading for 400 and a longer reading for 650. And how I do it is I have a set of beautiful cards. Now, don't get a lot of people get put off by this because there's 100,000 mediums on TikTok. But the difference with me is that I'm not focused on fortune telling. I can't tell your fortune. Your fortune is up to you.
Yeah.
What I can do is bring through the messages from the angels and from your loved ones that have passed over, and give you some direction on what you are battling with. And I do everything through God's light. I don't believe in all of that other stuff. That's for other people to use. I'm happy for them to use that. That's their journey. But my journey is um, putting the cards out on the table. And when I shuffle those cards and pull the cards for you, I do it live, so you see that your cards are being chosen. And I invoke Archangel Michael when I do this. So when I put the cards out, the pictures on the cards will uh, cue certain things in my head that will then bring in the messages. So if I say the cards are more like a cue for what knowledge comes through.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, you can get some pretty profound messages. I've read for people from all walks of life. Um, there was one woman that lost her childhood cat, and I mean, this cat was her child for her whole life, and she couldn't get over the grief of losing it. And you see, animals are pure essence. They're
Mm,
almost like earth angels. So
yes.
when they go, some people can feel really, really devastated by this
Mm,
because it's unconditional love that's gone, you
mm,
know? And so what I would suggest uh to them is I try and they send me a picture, and if they don't send me a picture, they describe their person to me and I connect with them. I have to ask Archangel Michael directly for the name of the person and or the name of the animal. And the reason for this is I had a guy who said to me, no, he wants your hand to come through. Now, in family generational lines, there can be like up to 6 or 7 hands.
yes.
So if I ask for your hand to come through, no, there's going to be a party happening. There's going to be like 6 hands there, and I'm not going to figure out who's who. So I have to ask for that. And I also ask my clients to have a little chat with their loved one that's passed over, even if they've never done it before and they've never tried it before, and tell them that you are doing this. You are requesting a reading with me, and will they come through for you? That really helps because it's all about consent. And
Mm.
if you have consented for the angels to guide and help you through me, then it's done in a truthful, beautiful, and honest way.
Oh, that's beautiful. Really, really lovely. Okay. Okay. And for the people that think that they're wasting their time with personal development or growing, what would your angels tell them?
Okay, so a lot of people are skeptical of going to have a reading with a medium or with an angelic channel. Um, well, this is what I would tell them. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Why don't you give it a try instead of being shut off to it? You may find that you're shutting yourself off to other parts of life that maybe you should jump in and give a try. Life isn't about being scared or being mistrusting. Sometimes we've got to take the leap and trust. And um, I had a man who was very skeptical message me, and he said, "Oh, my wife is wanting me to have this reading." And I said to him, "Sir, I want you to go back for a couple of days and think about why you want this reading, because it's got to be something you want to do.
Mm.
If somebody's bought you a reading, oh, I'll just do it for some fun. I tell truth. I tell people the pattern that you're doing isn't helping you.
Mm.
And sometimes people don't like to hear the truth. And so I probably never hear from them again because they're not ready to hear that message. But the people that are brought to me on this path are normally orchestrated by the angels above. And so luckily I've only had pleasant experiences with all my clients that have come to me. I've helped them immensely. And anyone that doesn't really believe in what I have to do, well, then go on your path. And I send you God's grace and love because, You know, everybody's got a different way of doing things, and this is my way, and I'm very proud of the fact that I have this gift.
Yeah.
God has allowed me to be a channel for amazing, amazing messages that are transform people's lives. And
Mm.
so that brings me joy, and that brings me a great deal of peace and happiness. So I'm going to carry on doing that.
And confirmation, you know, sometimes you have this lingering story pattern feeling, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? Must I do this? And then that's that medium, the angel card, whatever it is, just gives you that confirmation that you're on the right track.
Absolutely. Yeah, just a little nudge in the right direction. You know, the angels are always whispering to you.
Mm.
But sometimes we all have so much noise going on in our heads, and
Yes.
so much, I call it the mailman. My husband does tells me like this as well. When you're a head of a company, your egos, sometimes the mailman likes to come upstairs and try out the CEO chair. And then
Yes.
he sits in
Yes.
that CEO chair and he talks about and makes everything a mess and disorganizes your calendar. And until you tell that inner critic to go back down to that mailroom because you're in charge, you know, you're just going to be pushed off on your path. And a lot of people can't do that. So I really want to help people figure out the beauty and sparkle that they have inside themselves. I really want to help people get over their grief, and release all that no longer serves them, you know?
Absolutely beautiful. What a lovely purpose to have. What wonderful work you're doing. It's been so inspiring chatting with you. Give us some lasting pearls of wisdom before we.
Okay. Um, One of the things that a lot of people will find that happens in their lives is, say they're about to go to a party or a business meeting or something, and a little gut feel says, oh, I don't think I should take that way on that road. I think I'll go around the other way.
Mm.
Don't think that that's nothing. That is your guardian angels actually helping you to either get to your meeting faster or avoid traffic or maybe even avoid an accident. There've been miracle cases of people getting these intuitive feelings, and actually, you know, deciding something different. So really listen to your gut. You are an amazing creative God spark. And the most important thing I can say is really work on your intuition, because it's something that will guide you through your whole life.
Yes, I absolutely agree, and I've been guided through the traffic, around the traffic so many times, thanks to my angels, and
Wonderful.
I'm really honored to be reminded of that constant listen to your gut. So thank you for joining me on another episode of Life Changing Stories. Your story has been absolutely amazing, and
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me.
yeah, it's been wonderful. And listeners, listen to your gut and go check out our courses at lifechangingcourses.co.za. Get your life back on track and follow your intuition. And
Follow your intuition. Absolutely.
that's it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Diana. Goodbye.
Thank you, Michael. Bye, everyone.